My name's Mirza, and I would like to do something very interesting. I'd like to save 1 million human lives. Pretty bold statement. Now I'm going to have to back it up. So here comes the fun part. If you think you're too small to make an impact, try going to bed with a mosquito in your room. I was told this quote by a friend. And at that time when I was told this quote, I honestly believed that I was too small to make an impact. So I tested out the theory. I went to bed with dozens of mosquitoes in my bedroom. And I'm going to tell you what happened at the end of my speech. So I began researching, and I spent countless hours of research on studying all the people in the foundations that were doing great charitable works to save human lives. During this period of immense reading, I came across people like Bill and Melinda Gates and the Bill and Melinda Gates Charitable Foundation. I came across people like Jacqueline Novogratz and the Acumen Fund. And I came across people like Dr. Muhammad Yunus, Grameen Companies, and winner of the Nobel Peace Prize for microfinance. It was during my period of reading about Dr. Muhammad Yunus that I came across one of his books called Creating a World Without Poverty. This book kind of really hit home for me, and it touched a lot of things inside of my own soul, and it made me realize that social business truly was one of the mediums of the future that had the potential to transform poverty, hunger, disease, and a lot of the social inequalities that a lot of the people in the third worlds and the developing countries were experiencing. So what we did after that was we decided to do some more research. We obviously wanted to start doing something to save lives, but we had no clue where to begin. So what we did was we researched on the cost of actually saving lives. And we came to some striking conclusions that for less than $1 a day, we could provide clean drinking water to people in remote villages. For between $1 and $2.4, we can cure measles. For 79 cents to between $1.25, we can cure other childhood diseases that were increasing the mortality rate of children. This brought us down to our action steps. There's a lot of readers, talkers, thinkers, and doers. We were one of those people that learned most by doing. And in business, if your goal is to become a millionaire, it's very simple. You start by making $1. Then you focus on making $10, and then $100, and $1,000, and so on until you reach your goal of $1 million. We applied the same formula for saving lives. We figured, hey, what best way to figure out how to get this right than by actually just trying? So what we did was I called up a relative of mine in Pakistan. He was a cousin of mine, and he had actually been doing a lot of charitable works. He spends majority of his time trying to help with the community and stuff like that. So what we did was we called him up and we said, we're on to this newfound social business concept. We want to save some lives. What can we do? How can we save 1 to 10 lives right now? And what he did for us was he told us, come on down to Pakistan, have a look for yourself at the situations. I'll tell you where you can deploy your resources, and you guys can make a decision on where to proceed. So what we did was we hopped on a plane. We all went down to Pakistan. This was about 3 years ago. We all went down to Pakistan, and I was actually born in Pakistan. I left when I was 2 years old, and I was raised and educated in Canada. I spent my whole life here. I was actually going back for the first time in my life, and it wasn't to visit family or anything like that. It was to go back to actually see the level of poverty and to see firsthand what we could do about it. So we went back to Pakistan, and now it was a very culturally shocking experience. It was an eye-opener. I went back, I saw over 160 million people living in land space the size of Texas. And it was very overwhelming to see the level of disease, hunger, and poverty. So what we did was we pooled together 5,000 Canadian dollars. It was me and 2 of my friends. And the conversion rate of Pakistani rupees, it works out to about 400,000 rupees. We took that and we decided that we were going to spend every penny. We actually did end up spending every penny as well as personal funds from ourselves. And what we did was every day we helped someone. We spent 3 weeks there. Every day we helped someone, and every day we tried to do as much as we possibly could. 3 weeks later, we felt we had made somewhat of a decent impact, and we came back to Canada. I'm going to tell you a little bit about where the foundation is now currently. The foundation itself is in its final stages of being officially launched. We have a small team of volunteers. It's very difficult to launch projects when you're not compensating your employees or anything like that, and especially if these are really talented people and hardworking people. So our small team of volunteers was working on the website, and we're in the final stages of launching the foundation, getting the website up so everyone can participate. In Pakistan, through vaccinations, through sustainable food projects, through diesel-powered water pumps, through microloans, and through medical operations such as eye cataract surgeries, we were able to save a total of 125 lives and counting. We learned a lot from that experience. This is one picture of us in Pakistan when we bought a diesel-powered water pump, we bought a generator, we had set up a clean water system for farmers, for a bunch of farmers who lived all in the same area who didn't have access to water. We're actually walking miles and miles every day to get water, walking miles and miles back just to provide enough water for their crops to grow. So this is one of our crowning achievements, actually. It's very simple. It's a picture of me and my friend and our relatives' happiness of achieving something worthwhile. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about spreading a message. And the question is, what can an average person like you and me do to spread a message? For instance, Kanye West was on television, and he said, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And the message was instantly spread through social networks and the internet all across the world. There were many, many comments, but that's Kanye West, right? What could the average person like me and you do to get our voices heard and to send out a message? And the answer to that question is to unify our voices. Every time we speak as one, every time our voices send out one single message, it's very, very powerful. It ends up having effect on many people. For instance, another example is the presidential election in America when Barack Obama was running for election. There were over 2.5 million people, not even Americans, who changed their status messages on their Twitters and on their Facebooks to I am in support, I am number so-and-so in support of Barack Obama. And what happened is we screamed in a unified voice, yes, we can. And what happened was Barack Obama became the president of the United States of America. Now, that's the power of the technology in today's times. These are the extraordinary times that we are living in which we can spread a message, and we have tools to spread this message, and it can go out to over 1 billion people or 1.5 billion people on the internet and on social networks. I personally believe that no one truly knows how to use all of these tools at our disposal. For instance, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. And these tools are very efficient. They're allowing us to spread the message very quickly. I personally believe that how we use these tools has the potential to save human lives. It has the potential to eradicate poverty. It has the potential for us to create social businesses with profit-minded businesses that would use their profits simply to do social good works. So I'm going to explain a little bit about our personal business model for the foundation and why I feel that how we use these tools can save lives. There's 5 things needed to participate in our foundation. Number 1 is the internet connection. Number 2 is a personal computer. Number 3 is an email address. Number 4 is a profile on social networks. And number 5 is some active participation. Now, quick show of hands, how many people are on the first 4? Pretty much everybody. So you guys are already 4 steps ahead of everybody else when it comes to using these tools. And this is this situation in a lot of the developed countries like Canada and the States and UK. We are very technologically savvy. we have these tools at our disposal, and we're using them in increasingly creative ways. When we combine these 5 things, the value of these 5 things, we can generate income for a foundation or for a cause based on how we use them. I'm going to give you an example. Our foundation is called the Save 1 Million Foundation. The goal is obviously to save 1 million lives. The cost of doing something like that is roughly $100 million, depending on where we deploy our funds in the country and the exchange rates and the situation. So obviously, to generate $100 million, it's not very easy. We would have to first start out with a brilliant business model, and we would need a lot of participation from people to help us out. Our business model revolves around traffic. There's many websites and many companies, Doritos, Old Spice, eBay, Amazon. All of these companies are always looking for ways to increase the traffic coming to their websites. Once the traffic comes in, a lot of these companies know how to monetize it. Contests, coupons, campaigns, a lot of these things can further monetize the influx of traffic. So we felt if a company was looking for traffic, wouldn't it be great if we could just send them 1 million people? And the trick with that was, with internet, everything is a numbers game. So personally, if I send out a message, just like Joel was saying, I've got a big Twitter following. So if I send out a message today saying, help me save 1 million lives, it goes out to my 5,000 Facebook friends, and it goes out to over 100,000 Twitter followers. Now that's a potential audience of over 120,000 people. That's just me sending out one message. What happens when 1 million of us send out that one message? The potential impressions go to 100 million and more. Everybody has 50 to 100 friends on their social platform, on their networks. I'm sorry, I'm trying. Okay. I'm out of time. I'm being rushed here. Okay, I'm just going to quickly wrap it up. If 1 million of us click on a link or change our status message to Save 1 Million Foundation or whatever the link is, the impressions go out to over 100 million. And it's the equivalent of something like the Super Bowl. For Super Bowl, a 30-second ad spot costs over $3 million. $3 million is a guaranteed pay. You're guaranteed to pay that amount due to the guaranteed level of audience that you're going to reach. There's over 100 million people that tune into the Super Bowl. So obviously, paying $3 million is worth it. With us, the potential impressions was something that was very important for companies. I'm going to quickly, I'm running out of time, so I'm just going to quickly go over 2 things. Starting something like this was very big for us. It was very difficult, and we had no clue how to start. Now we were down to 2 obstacles, actually, that I found were the biggest things for us. One was finding top talent and retaining them, and having them work for us for very little compensation. And part 2 was that we had no experience in saving lives. We had absolutely none. So the answer to those 2 questions, the solution, I guess, was 1, to actually start an official foundation, fund it from sponsors, myself, friends, and family, and actually have money to be used to compensate the people who are giving us their blood, sweat, and tears and time. And second was to align ourselves with other organizations and stuff that we could use to kind of give us the edge to not make the same mistakes and pitfalls that most of these organizations do. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm out of time, so I'm going to run to the last slide. We have 999,875 lives left to save. We've saved 125, and hopefully we can save 1 million more. Thanks, everyone, for your time.